What is up, folks? Briston Gaming back with another episode of 7 Days to Die Mods Weekly. And this week we're going over a decent bit, about 4 server-side mods for you guys. Some of them are pretty easy, don't really do a whole lot up front, but you see it on the back end. And before we jump into the mods, I want to take a second to say, if you like the content, make sure you like and subscribe, as it does help out the channel a great deal. Now, our first mod of the week is Riles Backpack Plus. As you see, I have a 90 slot backpack here. That's not standard. Now, the Riles Backpack Plus has a 60 slot and a 90 slot. If you get the 90 slot, not only do you get a 90 slot backpack, but over here, where you would normally scrap or repair things, instead of just having the 4 slots, you actually have 5. And on most workbenches, it gives you an extra slot as well. So it's a small little increase, but it is nice. Now, with the 90 slot backpack, if you use it, you do have to use a different HUD mod. The best HUD mod that works with this is Riles HUD mod. Riles makes the backpack mod. He's gonna have a HUD mod that works with it. And I like the Riles HUD just because of how clean and simple it looks. If you guys remember from a few episodes ago where we covered the Riles HUD, this backpack just flows in well with it. You see all this crap I have here? I was doing a bunch of horde testing stuff, and that's all the stuff I had to have for it. But this mod is amazing. It is server side, so you don't have to worry about having it on client and server. If you're playing with multiplayer, if you're hosting something with friends, just you have it yourself or whoever's hosting the server. It works great, pushes the files to the client. It's a super fun mod, and if you're playing on a huge map, like this is a 1600 by or 16K by 16K nitrogen map with just a butt ton of cities and stuff in it. So it's a ton of loot. So having a big backpack mod like this really helps. But with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next mod. Alright folks, so our next mod is the Better Quest Rewards by Devin752. It is actually a pretty simple little mod. It does work server side. Most people don't realize that it does. We tested it out a lot this morning, and it worked server side for us. So what we're going to do is, after you complete a tier, like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, you go and you talk to the trader, and you get the normal little thing here. So we're going to go ahead and select our rewards. And what happens is, when you get them, you come here and you look at your skills. My skill points went up by 1. I had 20, now I'm at 21. It doesn't show the rewards on the screen. I don't know why. It didn't show it for us earlier through all the testing, but it shows up here. Now I have 21 skill points. The reason why this works great for people is, you know, I went ahead and I boosted this character to level 300, doing testing, doing horde stuff, doing a bunch of other stuff for videos that'll come out in the future. But if you're playing, most people don't last until day 7,000 or level 300. Most people get bored well before that. You get around level 75 or so, you kind of like, okay, I've done everything I can do in the game. My base can handle any kind of horde. But you still don't have everything maxed out. Well, this mod, as you build through the quest ranks, gives you extra skill points that you can use instead of having to horde and horde and horde and horde to try to build the build that you want. This lets you have a little bit more flexibility. And Devin752 did a really good job on this mod because it's something simple that you don't really notice right away. We were doing a lot of testing with this before we realized how the mod actually works. So I thought it was kind of cool. It's like, it doesn't really just like stick it in your face, hey, here you go. It was one of those ones where we were like, okay, well, how do we want to build out to test this horde? Oh, wait, hold on, we have an extra skill point. I thought it was neat. So kudos to you, Devin752. But we are going to move on to the next mod. Alright folks, so our next mod is Trader Material Trades by Drconfused. It's actually a really cool mod that gives you a different kind of quest to do, but it also saves you from having to wait on craft times and stuff like that. So how it works is, you come here to the trader and you see material trading. So you go ahead and you click on material trading and then you say what you want. You want blocks, materials, bars. We're going to say we want blocks. You can select 1,000, 500, 125. We're going to say we want 1,000 and we want 1,000 rebar fame blocks. Now we have a quest here. So this is actually kind of weird. It says 1,000 small stones and 5,000 scrap iron, but it's not actually small stones. When you accept the quest, it actually wants you to collect like I have here, clay soil. So if we get rid of the clay soil,
You
so
must
let's just
think
proceed with the
you're
quest. That's
pretty
cool.
hot shit now.
But we select it.
Well, you did it, so
We go back into our inventory, and now we have the rebar flame blocks. And now all of our clay soil is gone. Oh, well, no, here it is. So now we have 4,000 clay soil. So instead of it actually saying small stones, it wants clay soil. And you can actually come and talk to the trader, take another quest,
Interested in a game?
and you can do this as much as you want. You can just, use this to get blocks and stuff, or get material that you might not have. And it helps with, having to wait on crafting time and stuff like that, because it can take a long time to get some of these things crafting. But getting the rebar frame blocks this way is super fast. It's super easy. You can get 5,000 iron in no time. But with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next mod. All right, folks, so our next mods that we're going to showcase here are actually going to be two mods together. It's Jax Teller 718's Increased Wilderness Zombies, and then also Stupid Undead by Hollow. So the reason why I've got both of these together is, I don't know if you guys have ever seen how it kind of feels barren at times. Like there's really not a lot of zombies around. You can go a long time without seeing them. And you see these guys here. What Jax Teller's mod does is it gives you 3 different kinds of modlets that you can choose from. You can choose a ×2 population mod, a ×4, or a ×8. I have the ×4 installed, and what this does is it populates a heck of a lot more zombies and stuff like that in each biome. So instead of just having a small number of zombies, you can actually have zombies that you actually have to clear through and kill, and actually makes it a little bit harder, but it also makes it easier as well, because the more zombies you have, the more experience you get, the faster you level up. And Hollow's Stupid Undead, what that does is it makes zombies act more like they did in Alpha 17. They're not quite the structural engineers that they are now. Now they're going to, kind of path towards the player a little bit more. They're not going to follow the, hey, this block we can smash through because it's somehow we know it's the weakest block in the entire building. We can just smash through this and get to the player. Instead, they're going to look for an opening. They're going to try to go through the closest opening that they can, as opposed to just making one themselves. You don't really see it unless it's like a Wandering Horde or it's Horde Night. It's kind of a minor modlet, but for me, it's one of my favorite because it really does make a difference on how zombies path. It kind of fixes some of the stuff that the Fun Pips have done that have made the game not quite as fun. Pimp. Sorry, I couldn't resist the joke. But with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the last mod. All right, folks, so our last mod of the day is Stallionsden's Supply Crate Drop. Now, this is a pretty cool mod because in some of my Let's Plays and stuff that we've done of 7 Days to Die, I've had gear that people are like, well, how do you have that on day, whatever? Well, a lot of it is because of these supply crates. So you see these all over the map. If you have this mod installed, and this is the only mod of the bunch that we could not confirm is not server side. So this could be server and client. We couldn't get any confirmation. No matter how much testing we did, we couldn't get it to work right either way. So I know that's kind of a weird statement, but when we had it on, we had just a whole bunch of different stuff happen. So we haven't actually had a chance to confirm it yet. If we can get this confirmed that it works server side, I'll release another video that actually has a list of all server side mods. But back to the mod itself. So with this, you have crates like this. You see them out in the wild, you see them on the sides of roads. You can either pick them or smash them open. So once you get it smashed open, you loot it. Sometimes it has really good stuff in there. Sometimes it doesn't. That's weird. They usually disappear after you open it. But the mod is really cool. Like, if you've got different kind of foods and stuff, that different food mods, like in one of my previous videos we did Dragon's Food Plus, I think that's what the mod was called. It gave a whole bunch of different kinds of foods. Now, if you loot these, those foods were always in there, so you never really had a food problem. But in later stages of the game, you actually can get a lot of decent gear out of those. You can get high-level baseball bats, had decent kinds of guns, ammo, food. Food is the big thing that they carry the most I've seen. They really just have a ton of food. And these are great for large group play. Like, I know my friends and I, like, when we play this together, we like having this mod installed because food is always a problem. Like, and we like playing on the harder difficulties. So when you're playing with, 3 or 4 or 5 people, and you're looking for food for everybody, one person almost always has to specialize into farming and cooking and stuff. Well, with this, it helps supplement some of the food sources. So you're not having to go out and hunt rabbits and deer and stuff all the time for meat. You're not having to spend as much time scavenging and trying to actually grow. You just loot these as you're out and about. Bam, you actually have a decent supply of food. But with that, we are done for the week. Thank you for sticking around as long as you did. I hope you had fun. I know I did. Take it easy, and we will see you next time.